Every man dies, but not every man really lives. Indeed, late Alhaji Lateef Ajetunmobi Lawal had lived a fulfilled life of positive impacts on everyone he came across during his sojourn on earth, and had left great legacies for his generation and posterity. His lifetime was an account of hard work, self-discipline, dedication, fairness in dealing with people, uncompromising commitment to integrity to achieve a reasonable degree of success, and touching lives to make them better individuals. He was a passionate son of Ijebu who lived to ensure that the dialect and cultural values of the Ijebu nation is well kept and preserved from going into extinction. Son of Lateef Ajetunmobi Lawal, rose on 3rd March 1933 when he was born to late Pa Lawal Ajetunmobi Oye of Itunsoni Quarters, now Ogbagba Street, and to late Alhaja Munirat Abebi Oye ní Lawal Gudu of Idomowo Quarters, both from Korogun, Ijebu-Ode. Born in a polygamous family and being the only child of his mother, Lateef started his primary education in 1940, attending Baptist School, Ereko, with his much older half-brothers, while at the same time undergoing Quranic coaching after school hours. His father later stopped him and his elder ones from attending school. As a result, young Lateef spent the whole of year 1941 at home learning Quran under the tutelage of Alfa Yusuf Barakoyi. Early 1942, Lateef continued his primary education in Precious Stone Mission School, Ijebu-Ode, with the support of his mother. His father died in 1942 and eventually completed his primary school education at Christ Church School, Korogun, Ijebu-Ode. Lateef Ajetunmobi enrolled in 1950 at the Ijebu Muslim College as one of its pioneer students and passed out in 1954 in flying colors. By private studies, he gained admission to the University of Ibadan and graduated in 1961 with a Bachelor of Arts degree. While Lateef was in primary school, his mother instilled the spirit of hard work in him. He worked as clerk in his mother's onion business. At age 14, he was a master in business acumen, managing his mother's onion business here in Southwest and sending money back to her in the North. Then he was nicknamed Akowe Alalubosa, meaning onion seller's clerk. The spirit of financial discipline, hard work, ruggedness, and integrity instilled in him by the late mother were the core principles that facilitated his modest achievements.
Being an only child of his mother, he stood out in every way. Stood out in academics, in career, even in business. He stood out in his relationship with others. Many people have a lot to say about him, not even us as biological children. He has several other children outside, spiritual children, people that he mentored. And so I'm so happy for his life.
He's a person that has high ethical standards in all ramifications. He doesn't joke with his name, and that's why he was a disciplinarian during his lifetime, and he transformed it into the life of those who passed through him, whether biological children or not.
Lateef Ajetunmobi Lawal started his career life as teacher, taught at the Ijebu Muslim College and Christ Apostle Grammar School, Iperuremo, between June 1961 and August 1964, from where he transferred to the Federal Public Service. He had an exciting career serving in various ministries. He attended international courses which added feathers to his career. While at the Federal Ministry of Industries, he had the rare privilege of serving on Nigeria's delegation to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland on 3 occasions in year 1981, 1982 and 1983. He participated in economic bilateral talks with some specific countries and was also engaged in investment promotional activities, selling Nigeria in several developed countries in the world.
In terms of career, he got to the peak of his career within the civil service, and he was the first to carry reckon with there, and he had a very untainted image within the civil service.
He was a man of integrity and honesty, and I remember back in the days in the 80s when he was in the ministry, all his colleagues said well about him, that he was trustworthy and honest. So his philosophy of life was about honesty, because he believed that whatever we do, that the name is very, very important.
Daddy is very, very honest, and he is very trustworthy. He's not going to tolerate anyone who deviates from this. So all of us are really trustworthy and very honest.
Grandpa's philosophy in life, I would say, was having to put your best into everything they're involved in. No room for laziness or shabbiness. Just bringing out the best in everything that one does.
Despite being a busy and successful career man, Lateef Lawal never failed in his duty as a responsible husband to his wives and father to his children.
Bàbá ṣe dáadáa nígbésí ayé rẹ̀. Ó tọ́jú àwọn ọmọ, ó tọ́jú ìyàwó, ó múlé ẹ̀rọ dáadáa. Èkùnà nípa ọkọ, èkùnà ní láti tọ́jú àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀. Kẹ́ni ẹ̀rí bí ọmọ náà ṣe ń sìn, òun kú ṣe ní gbogbo wọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sunkún. Torí pé dáàdì wọn jẹ́ pàtàkì fún wọn. Ẹ fi wọn lẹ̀ rárá. Wọ́n wà ní skul alọ́wọ́ wọn. Dédé wọn bá ń ṣe ní skul ló máa ń fojú sí. Á dẹ̀ máa kọ́ wọn ní ọ̀nà oríṣiríṣi. Ìbọn lè gbé ṣìnà, ó fi máa mú hàn wọ́n. Wọ́n máa ń tán sọ́nà ìdára. Ẹ á ṣì mọ́ wọn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ èdè jùlẹ̀ fún wọn láti lè nìkan yàyàkuyà. Ó ṣe tó jẹ́ pọ́n ọmọ. Wọ́n dúró dáadáa. Wọ́n dẹ̀ múra wọn dáadáa.
Wọ́n fún mi ní peace. I have peace. Wọ́n jẹ́ kí ọkàn mi balẹ̀ sí gbogbo nǹkan lóríṣiríṣi. Wọ́n fi ìfẹ́ hàn mí, wọ́n fi owó mọ̀ mí, wọ́n fi ọ̀rọ̀ wọ̀n mí. So mi ò nígbàgbọ́ pé ọkọ mi ni wọ́n. Wọ́n jẹ́ bàbá, wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe bàbá fún mi.
In my formative years, he did a lot of significant things in my life that made me who I am today. Let me just remember a few of the things. For instance, days of when we were going for common entrance examination, primary school to secondary school, he prepared, and not only my own kids, all my brothers and sisters had similar stories to say, even to his grandchildren. Preparations for the exams, towards the entrance examination, interview preparation, what to say and what not to say. For instance, a particular time I had my hair cut so low, in fact was skin cut, was funny. That time somebody passed on lice called a knock or something like that in Yoruba. And so I had my hair shaven. Funny enough, he knew that question would be asked, as a small girl. You are not a boy, you had a short cut. So he told me that, look, if you are asked that you are a girl, why do you have your hair cut like this? Just give them this reason that because your hair was not even, so your parents had to cut it low. Yes, and truly, in that interview, it was asked. So I had a ready-made answer to give to the interviewers. Things like that, even up to my university days, things to do, what not to do. University days, it was even still taking me to school and bringing me back. Several times people will say, With L.A Lawal, your dad is at the Potter's Lodge, until a particular time when I had to tell him that he shouldn't worry. He cared for us, very compassionate, and he also believed that we should be educated.
He cares much about our education. He goes the extra mile to ensure that we do well in academics, and ensures that also that whatever we need in every area of our life, in our welfare, in academics, he sees to it all. He never ensures that we lack anything. One good thing that when I was in secondary school preparing for my WAEC then, far back ago, I was in the boarding school, but he always took his time to come to school to check on me, to see how I'm doing. He guides me through my studies. He gave me extra tutorials. And even when I hear that I'm sick, he wouldn't mind the time. Even if he's coming down at night, he will come down to my school and check on me to know how I'm faring. So many things like that. Not only to me as well, also my brothers and sisters. He was so caring, he was so great. And also, he taught us how to be honest. He was a man of integrity. He taught us how to be honest. That in this life, we'll come with nothing and we'll go with nothing. That we should live a life of content. In whatever we do, we should always content with whatever we have. And that's always kept me going in every area of my life.
He was the most industrious and hardworking man I've ever known in my life. But he still had time for his children. I remember those sacrifices he made for me just to teach me stuff I did not know. Just to make sure I get everything I wanted when I was in school. Just to make sure I never had to look at any other dad and be like, I wish my dad was like him. My father's love for education was just, I can't just say it. It was just great. He really liked education. He really took education as a priority.
His sense of education is superb. I would say he actually set a very great standard for us. When I heard about him launching a book a few years ago, and I'm like, wow, even in his old age, to show how educated and how he took education.
He was a pillar of unity in his extended family and a philanthropist who extended acts of love and care to other children apart from his biological children.
He's unique in his character. He actually stood out. He's a philanthropist. I grew up knowing him as someone that helps others. I grew up living with so many other people that are actually not his biological children. In fact, a lot of people grew up, had a lot of blessing in life through him.
I knew him as a very quintessential man and someone who accommodates everybody. He doesn't consider your ethnic or religious background before he associates with you. He sees everybody as someone that he takes together.
He stood for fighting for the defenseless. He stood for selfless service. He stood for affecting the lives of people. A lot of people who are not related to him passed through him and they found themselves in the ladder of success. He represents success at the highest level.
When I remember the good old days when we were growing up, he's a man that has a love, as I said earlier, that has love for his family, that a lot of us grew under him. That you can hardly point out and say, who among his children or his cousin? We all lived like one. My elderly cousins, younger cousins, everyone in our family, both extended and nuclear family, he was so caring to everybody. He wanted the best for everybody. He wanted us to be successful in life. At times things could be rough. Maybe in my profession, he would still call me to encourage me that, look, you can do this, you can do that, you can do other things to make life better for you.
There was one time when I was younger, I went to a friend's place and we were talking at his dining table, and his dad came around and was looking at me and he asked what was my full name, and I told him Ibrahim Lawal, and he asked me which Lawal, and I told him Lawal from Ijebu-Ode, and he said, is your dad Latif Ajetumabi Lawal? And I said, how do you know? And he said he was a great man, nice man, well respected in Ijebu-Ode, industrious, treat people well, welcomes everybody into his house. And I'm like, wow.
He was my role model. I learned more than a lot from him. I've always wanted to be like him. He was a philanthropist. He really helped people.
A lot of people looked up to him within the family for direction, for support, for advice, and he was able to actually fill that role very sufficiently.
Daddy is so caring, selfless, and very loving. When we were very, very young, all of us, different from different families living with him, we always laughing together, joking together, eating together, and this is all we are still doing.
Nígbà tí mo fẹ́ wọn, mo mọ bí mo ṣe wà. Ìgbà tí mo dẹ̀ wọlé, tí wọ́n jẹ́ ọkọ mi, mo mọ bí mo ṣe jẹ́. So wọ́n gbà mí tọwọ́ tẹsẹ̀. Mo bí ọmọ kan tẹ́lẹ̀ níléèwé, ṣùgbọ́n ìgbà tó yá wọ́n mú ọmọ mi yẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ tó fi di èrò ìlú òyìnbó lẹ́ni. So mi ò ní gbàgbọ́ pé ìyàwó ni mí, ọmọ ni mí, wọ́n dẹ̀ ń kọ́ mi, wọ́n ń tọ́ mi sọ́nà.
He picked me up from a plank house in the bush area, 177, to come and be living in his boys' quarter at Ikoyi. He mentored me and he trained me to the level that I am today. Every time he will call me to encourage me to do good things and not bad things. He gives me life.
In January 1985, he retired voluntarily from the public service as Secretary for Air Force in the Ministry of Defense to explore further advancements in the private sector. He established Lasgar Bakery Nigeria Limited, a large industrial bakery plant at Ikeja, with a loan from the defunct Nigeria Bank of Commerce and Industry (NBCI). His wife was the managing director, while he was the chairman. Through relentless hard work and financial discipline, the loan taken from NBCI was repaid within 24 months. As a management and business expert, Lateef Ajetunmobi also founded Invest Nigeria Limited, an investment promotion consultancy outfit which specialized in promotion of foreign investment and management consultancy. His emergence in the private sector was not without challenges, but Lateef's philosophy that a person must have a vision of what he wants to become and a driving force to achieve it really helped him.
He's a determined person, and also in his last days, we never knew was the last message to us. He advised us, and that's part of his philosophy. Do not give up. Things might be hard. As long as you believe in that thing, be focused, be determined. I remember those were his encouraging words. He's always praying for us. And one good quality about him is that very appreciative of little gestures, appreciative of little things. He will thank you as if you are giving millions to him. My daughter, you did this, you did that, prayers will follow.
He was a person who had passion for doing something. At his age, he was able to float an hotel and run an hotel. He was still restless, passion for success, that he keeps on asking, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. At that age, we cannot but give him a round of applause.
Grandpa is a great person, someone with great principle, and discipline. He's a great man. Someone that's living, or whichever ways or forms you must have met him or stayed under his tutelage. You can't just be a normal person. You have to be extraordinary. He's that kind of person. It's a privilege to actually know Grandpa.
Baba was very passionate in what he believes in, and he would go the whole hog to ensure that that thing survives, and not only survives, that thing succeeds.
The Nigerian Institute of Management conferred on him the prestigious award of the Fellowship of the Institute in recognition of his excellent performance in management consultancy. On the religious front, Lateef Ajetumobi Lawal was a committed Muslim who performed holy pilgrimage to Mecca and Medina in December 1973. He once served as the General Secretary of the Jebu Muslim community and always doing his best to contribute to the propagation of Islam.
Bàbá nígbàgbọ́ ní ti Ọlọ́run, ó dẹ̀ gbégbèsè rẹ̀, ó sìn Ọlọ́run dájúdájú. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀sìn màlérò mú ṣe. Ṣùgbọ́n ó ṣeun bíríbíríbírí kó tó dé kó kú.
He took God first in everything, like always telling me, Tawa, have you prayed? Tawa, go and pray. Tawa this, Tawa that. Like, I don't know, I can't imagine myself having any other father apart from him on earth.
Àwọn dáadáa ní bàbá yẹn, ó dẹ̀ fẹ́ràn àwọn ọmọdé, ó dẹ̀ fẹ́ràn ẹ̀sìn, ó dẹ̀ fẹ́ràn òdodo, náà dẹ̀ sọ òdodo, ẹnìkan tí ó wà honest.
Alhaji Lateef Ajetumobi Lawal, though religious, was a social man. He was a vital executive of the Jebu Muslim College All Students Association. He believed Jebu Muslim College was the fountain of his achievements in life, so he played a leading role in formation of the All Students Association and was elected pioneer president and also served in key positions.
He kept supporting the school in no small measure by making funds available to support the program of the MCOSA, to offer scholarship to students who are in need, those kids who have the brain but do not have money. So they are all supported from the resources that Baba joined others to plow into the purse of MCOSA. So Baba was an exemplary character. He was a role model, as I said at the beginning, and he showed example for others to follow.
He was also a founding member of the Club Circle, a group formed by individuals who came together to pursue private studies to be able to gain admission into the institution of higher learning. He was once the president and over 12 years the general secretary of the club.
Baba laid a very good foundation. He will be the first to arrive at our monthly meeting, and after the meeting he would sort of be giving us some words of inspiration that can encourage those of us that are younger ones. So to that extent, Baba was close to us and he was helping us to grow.
He held everybody together and he had this this knack for excellence. Baba would not take anything short of something that is excellent, something that merit was his watchword. He doesn't like half measures, and he's somebody who is very straightforward. He doesn't hide his feelings. He will tell it the way it is, and you can be sure that when he tells you something, that is actually how it is.
He had good reputation among his committee of friends.
He's very creative and he works with people. He is acceptable to many people, and he has laid a good foundation for other people to emulate. The problem is that for people to emulate people that really matters a lot. He has spent his life very well. He was a very humble gentleman and somebody who cares for all that is around him.
His major concern while alive was the gradual fading out of Ijebu dialect and cultural values, which he cherished so much and believed steps must be taken to preserve the dialect from going into extinction. This informed his founding of L.A Lateef Foundation to propagate and preserve the Ijebu dialect and cultural values.
Èdè Ìjẹ̀bú ṣòun kò lọ.
kò sí náà tó wà láti districts ọmọ tó ń bí ní 40 years ago wọ́n lè sọ Ìjẹ̀bú. So dialectologists àwọn tó ń gbédè tó ń ká èdè sọ pé in the next 40 years Ìjẹ̀bú language máa parẹ́. Ó máa parẹ́ kí n jẹ́ wà èmi náà jẹ́ nìkan tó ní interest ní Ìjẹ̀bú culture and value kí n dẹ̀ ṣe mo á dá Iye Láti foundation sílẹ̀. Kí Iye Láti foundation mo dá sílẹ̀ fún ìrántí ìyá mi obìnrin tí ó single handedly tó kọ́ mi tó náà jẹ́ ọmọ kan tó bí.
He wanted us to do things quickly. When we were still deliberating on when to go, when to start programs, he told us we should start with radio. We were thinking we will start with debates and quiz among secondary schools. We started the radio programs.
He single-handedly wrote a book on the Ijebu, its origin, and some salient features. And that was a book he single-handedly financed. And after financing that book, we launched the book. The proceeds of the book, he decided to donate it to the foundation.
One or two people have written on it, but he had an in-depth on a dream for Ijebu land, which he discovered that the language was fast eroding, and he came up with a book that for the next 200 years to come, they will still be making reference to it.
At age 85, Alhaji Lateef Ajetunmobi died on Friday, 6th April 2018 after brief illness and was buried on Saturday, 7th April according to Islamic rites.
I believe he died gracefully, and I believe that there will be a time we'll be together, not to part no more. I love you, Dad. May your soul rest in peace.
I never knew I could cry as an adult until my dad's death. I didn't expect him to die so soon, even though he attained the age of 85. I knew he was temporarily ill, but I never expected that illness will result to his death within a very, very short time. We were quite devastating. Yeah, but I would say I still give glory to God for the good life he had, his achievements.
His departure is still painful. It's still painful. It's still painful, and those few moments too. When I saw him, I know that at any time he could live. In the way he spoke, his body movements, I thank God for his life well spent.
I almost fainted when I heard my dad was dead. Being the youngest of his children, it was just like I was not even expecting it to happen just any time now.
His departure to me is a big blow to me, because I don't have anybody now that I can tell, I can discuss about my problem, that can give me a better advice. I pray to Almighty God to grant me eternal life.
He was a very good friend to my family. In fact, up to today, I still feel his departure and pray that may Almighty Allah grant him peaceful repose and be with his family.
Survived by wives, children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, Alhaji Lawal had left great legacies he would always be remembered for.
They are my life example. They've given us exemplary characteristics to hold on by. And so, for my dad, I'm missing him.
I would listen to advice. I know as a father, one that loves to see the progress of his children, and he's one that has been helpful to other people too. Children, non-children, friends, and other family members. So that is guiding the guardians, the advice which he tries to give every one of us. It has also been a motivating factor to us. We shall surely miss that.
My dad was so caring. Till his death, he was still caring. He still saw me as his baby. Though I'm an adult now, he still saw me like someone to still care for. And he's always like that to everybody that he came across. Not just me, not just my siblings.
I'll always remember you as a kind, thoughtful, honorable man. A leader in your community. Someone that should be emulated. I still remember when you sat me down and gave me history lessons. It has always stuck to me, and I use it every day in my life. I remember my mom used to look at me when I was younger, and she tells me, "You look exactly like your dad." She always tells me you should follow in your dad's footsteps.
I learned a lot from him. I learned to be hardworking. I learned to be a philanthropist. I learned to help others. I learned a lot. I learned to be religious.
People knew him for his high integrity and honesty, the community support.
He's a legend, I would say. It's a life that, looking at it, it motivates one. It's something that one should actually know is life history. It's something that would help even the young ones coming up these days, and I'm glad to call him my grandpa, and I'm glad to have known him, and I'm glad to have grown under his tutelage.
Baba is an historian. He has left a legacy. He has written his own version of Ijebu history.
This genuine love will continue. This is it is a legacy for all of us to gather together to be in love, and then by the grace of God, this will continue.
I hope the children they live like their father, because what their father did, it's a role model for many families.
During my period when I was giving birth to my children, they always know when it's time, the due time will be. I never used to tell them. It's as if both my parents, including my dad in particular, because he's the one that always found himself around my residence. I'm just passing by. I just want to check. I came to Surulere. I just said I should check since I'm here. Always checking and passing by. Until the day that it will be delivery time, they will always be there. Even before they were told that I'm in the hospital, they are always there. I thank God for passing through my parents, passing through my dad. I can never have a better father. He's the best, and I can never have. He's the best in the world.
It's just more than enough to me. Grandpa is part of the people that built me to become the lady I'm becoming. He is a great man. He's special in his own way, and I thank God for his life and the life he has lived here on earth.
It's quite the humble man. I wish we had more time to catch up on a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, man proposes, God disposes. And I know you're watching over us right now, protecting us, keeping us safe, guiding us in our heart. Daddy, rest in peace. Rest in Al-Jannah Al-Firdaus till we meet again.
Continue to rest in peace, late Alhaji Lateef Ajetumobi Lawal.